Chapter 3. Introducing sprinting into a fitness program. If you already have a fitness program in place, adding sprints will provide a number of benefits for you. It will help you build up your lean muscle mass, lose more body fat by boosting metabolism, and improve your endurance. In this part of the course, we're going to show you how you can add sprinting into your existing fitness program. Where to sprint. It's important to find a good place to sprint because unlike jogging, you're not going to have a lot of time to think about getting around obstacles should one suddenly appear in your path. Make sure wherever you sprint, it has a good footing and you won't be worrying about distractions or interruptions. Because of the intensity of sprinting, a sudden stop or turn can cause injury. Some people recommend sprinting uphill, but if you're just starting off, you will probably do better on a flat surface and can then find a sloped surface to increase the intensity later. It's also not recommended to use a treadmill because of how hard it is to control the speed when you're going that fast, and the faster you go on a treadmill, the greater the risk of injury. How often to sprint? Because of how hard sprinting is on your body, you shouldn't do it more often than 2 or 3 times a week. If you are young, healthy, and physically fit, you can try it for 3 days, but if your body takes a while to recover for various reasons, you should only sprint 2 days a week to keep from overexerting yourself. To improve your sprinting, you should also include other muscle building exercises into the rest of the week. Warm-up. Every workout session should begin with a warm-up, and it's even more important when you're adding sprints to the mix. Sprinting uses your muscles at almost full capacity, and if you don't take the time to warm up first, then you're greatly increasing your risk of tearing and straining something. Depending on the type of exercises you normally do, you may have to add some extra warm-ups before sprinting. Some good warm-up exercises to include before a sprinting exercise include jumping jacks, knee highs, side shuffles, and butt kicks. There are many others you can use, but this will give you an idea of the high-energy types of warm-ups that will prepare your body and muscles to sprint without injury. Make sure you warm up for 5 to 10 minutes before beginning. Cool down. After you sprint, it is equally important that you cool down, which means stretching out the muscles that you used and allowing the muscles to relax slowly. You'll also want to make sure you're giving your body some time to recover during the workout, so you're not just doing hard the entire time. The point of sprinting is to push your body, but you don't want to push too hard too fast. As you continue throughout our sprinting training course, you will find even more detailed information on sprinting training routines, so keep reading. Chapter 4. Simple ways to improve sprinting technique for a beginner. The simplest way to improve your sprinting technique when you are just beginning is to work on your form. If you don't establish a good form early on, then you will waste time trying to correct your form and put yourself at a higher risk of injury. That's why this part of the course is going to focus on the proper sprinting form. Getting ready. Everything in your body should be facing forward. That means your shoulders, hips, and feet should all be pointing towards the finish line. Your eyes too should be looking frontward and looking at the track about 10 meters ahead. Prepare to engage your core muscles for added power by tightening your abdominal muscles and pulling your belly button inward. Your upper body, including your jaw, neck, and shoulders, should be relaxed, so take a deep breath before your sprint and purposely relax those muscles. If you are clenching them as you run, you will make your body work harder than necessary in these areas, taking energy away from the other muscles. Assuming the proper standing starting position is as easy as moving your dominant leg, right if you are right-handed, back slightly while keeping most of your weight on your non-dominant leg, which is at the starting line. Then, bend your knees a little as you bend slightly at the waist. Your arms should also be in position, with your non-dominant arm back and your dominant arm forward. Proper sprint form. Begin by pushing up with your front leg, using your toes to launch yourself forward. From there, every stride should look the same. Your dominant leg should extend outward until your knee is at the same level as your hip. Your ankle and knee should be at 90 degrees angles. Your opposite arm should be back and kept bent at a 90-degree angle. Then you'll use your dominant leg to propel yourself forward and get your non-dominant, also called supporting leg, into the same position and continue until you reach the finish line. As you run, you will also need your arms to move in sync with your legs to improve speed. Keep your elbows bent at 90-degree angles, your hands and shoulders relaxed, and move your hands in rhythm with your knees, from your hip up to your chin. When each foot hits the ground, you want to land first with your heel, then roll your foot forward to launch yourself from your toe as you did on your first stride. Having strong, powerful footfalls is one of the most important parts of being able to increase your sprinting speed. How to practice form. The best way to practice your form is during your warm-up, because it's a lot easier to remember everything when you're moving slower. If you're not working with a trainer or a seasoned sprinter, then you may benefit from recording yourself and reviewing the videos to see how well you did and where you need to improve. There are also tools that can help you, which will be discussed later in this course. Chapter 5. Basic Sprint Training Routine for Beginners. When you first get into sprint training, you will only be able to sprint for 2 days of the week because of the high level of intensity involved in sprinting. However, as your body improves and can handle more, you may be able to move up to 3 days per week. On those days, you will want to closely follow this sprint training routine for beginners. 1. Warm-up. Before you push your muscles to the max, you need to get them ready by warming up. There are a number of warm-ups that you can do to separate the sprint, so you can swap out some of these for similar activities to suit your needs and preferences. What's important is that you take the time to warm up before you begin sprinting. Briskly walk or jog for 10 minutes. If you are on a track, go around twice. Be sure to be practicing your sprinting form as much as possible during this. Find a vertical surface to do a forward and sideways wall swings. You'll want to do at least 10 of each with each of your legs. Do high knees by running in place for 1 minute while getting your knees up as high as possible. Do butt kicks by running in place for 1 minute while kicking your butt with your heels. Finish off with some bodyweight lunges for about 1 minute for each leg. 2. Interval training. Sprint training has to be done through interval training, which means you change your pace and work out intervals, rather than simply going hard for the entire training session. It's important to give your body time to rest and recover between sprints. We're going to give you 2 ways to break up this part of the training into intervals, one based on time and the other on distance. Method 1. Distance. Note: this method works best if you are using a standard 400-meter track to train on. Sprint for 400 meters, 1 complete lap. Walk for 400 meters. Sprint for 200 meters, 1 straight side and 1 curve of the track. Walk for 200 meters. Sprint 100 meters, either 1 straight side or 1 curve. Walk for 100 meters. Method 2. Time. Sprint for 1.30 minutes. Walk for 1.30 minutes. Sprint for 1 minute. Walk for 1 minute. Sprint for 30 seconds and walk for 30 seconds. 3. Cool down. Equally important as the warming up, cooling down properly will help your muscles relax back to normal without becoming knotted or tense. There are so many stretches you can do for each of the major muscle groups you will be working on, so pick a couple for each group that work well for you and do those during each of these parts of the cool down. Slowly jog or briskly walk for 15 minutes or 2 complete laps of the track. Stretch your hamstrings, stretch your quads, stretch your glutes, stretch your calves, stretch your abductors, and stretch your abdominals. In the next part of the course, we're going to focus even more on recovery options for sprinting training.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.